Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I always say good morning, good afternoon, good evening because some people are pouncing from somewhere else. So, thank you so much for coming to this channel. This is Girls for STEM USA. We are so glad that you're here with us. Thank you so much. And remember, we are here to encourage girls pursue science and technology, not only girls, just because there are few women in STEM. So we are here to encourage more girls to pursue science and technology. And we're also here to showcase other role models who've been navigating STEM or who are trying to navigate STEM, just to make sure that the girls are exposed to so many role models, and also to encourage the girls to see other technologies that are out there and just maybe what they want to venture into. So thank you so much, guys, for coming. So today, guys, I have an interesting visitor. She's very dear to my heart because of her passion and her career as well. So her name is Sela Kasepa, and I know you guys can't wait to have her. So I'm also so excited. So I'm going to bring her up. So again, thank you so much, guys. If you're coming here for the first time, make sure you subscribe and you have that shape notification on, so that when we have an interesting visitor, you are able to tell that. So I'm going to bring Sela up, guys. Hi, Sela. Thank you so much for coming. I'm so glad you are here. I know you are a busy person, but thank you so much for visiting us again here on Girls for STEM. We really, really do appreciate. So, Sela, I wanted to say first thank you, of course, for coming. But please introduce yourself, what you're doing, and where are you?
Okay, so my name is Sela Kasepa. I am a software engineer at Microsoft. So
Yes.
currently I'm in specifically Redmond, so Redmond, like Washington State, at the Microsoft. My office is at the Microsoft headquarters,
Yes.
and so yeah, uh, I've been there. So this is like my I'm just entering my second year at Microsoft now, um, and so that's me. Yeah.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much. So, guys, wow, she's in STEM. And, we are encouraging here girls to pursue STEM. And she's one of a kind. She's one of our own guys. You know what I mean? So, we are so privileged to have her here. So, Sela, I want you to take us a little bit about Zambia when you came back, when you were in Zambia. Maybe even touch a little bit what projects you did in Zambia. We want to hear a little bit of that because last time we didn't get to hear a little bit of meat about what you did in Zambia, how you got into those projects. Could you share with my viewers?
Uh, yes. So so I'm originally from Zambia. I didn't say that. So born raised in Zambia. Went to primary school then and through like high school, and then only came to the US for my college. And so in terms of projects I've worked on back home is so in my freshman year was at the time trying to pursue mechanical engineering, and we took this class on it like was an intro making class, and for it we're building a robot. And
Yes.
so I've taken this class, or was taking this class actually. I was like so fascinated with what I was learning, and so I decided I was like, wait, I why don't we learn this also like back home? Why don't we have like such projects, right? And for me, it was more of like I enjoyed like the hands-on like experience I was having, and it was like. For the longest time you see like, oh wait, robots and they do this and it's like they look like such a like outward thing, and then when you're like thrown into it and doing it, it's like there's like shift in mentality that
Yes.
happens. So it's like instead of just seeing things like, wait, I can actually like build these things, and it's like I want people to experience this. I want like young people in Zambia to grow up like experiencing this, working on this, and believing that they can actually like make things. And so based off of that, I decided I wanted to do start a robotics team. But
Yes. Wow.
And at the time, it just seemed like an adult idea. But I remember calling like my one of my mentors who had helped me with my college application. And I
Yes.
was telling my boss he's in Zambia, he's at the ZIC, Zambian Institute for Sustainable Development. So I was calling him and telling him, like, yeah, like, I actually want to do this. Like, I said, like, a robotics team. I know it sounds crazy, but like, just like, listen to me. Like,
Yes.
work. And so then I, at the time, reached out to this, like, first global robotics organization, and so they're organizing this like global robotics challenge, bringing
Yes.
countries from across the world to like compete in a robotics challenge. And at the
Yes.
time, Zambia wasn't there, so like I emailed them and I'm like, "So I know you're organizing this, and I don't see my country there, and it might be late, but I want to put us out there. And if you have like another one, because this is going to be an annual thing, like you can consider us for the next one." And so he gets back to me and he's like, "No, wait, you can also like participate this year. We can work with you and get you involved." And I'm like, "Whoa." So I'm sitting in my college room and I'm like, "So this is happening."
Yes.
So at the time I started like working with my mentor, like the ZXT organization, and to come up like to like so put a team together, start working on robotics and the like. And so that's when I started like my like home project, which was so mainly like so yeah, so that was like the like Zambia robotics thing that we ultimately started, and with the goal of giving like encouraging STEM amongst young people by giving them like a hands-on experience with reading like technologies. And so yeah, so that was like my college like project for some time. So yeah.
Wow. So were you scared first time and to step into unknown? You are you are the first one. You haven't seen something like that. How was that feeling of saying like that feeling most people of us have? Will I fail? Should I do this? Is this really how did that go?
So yes, I remember this was like I remember sitting in my dorm and like, wait, who can I work with? Because I was like, I'm really young and like, who can I present this idea to? And or you like for myself, it
Yes.
sounds like it sounds so far fetched. Like why are we doing like robotics? Like it's not really a thing back home. And
Yes.
so yeah, so I remember being like scared even not knowing who to approach or who to work with, and and so yeah, so like even when reaching out and asking say can my country be part of this like robotics challenge,
Yes.
was like this is like some random email I'm sending to like so at the time I was sending to like the organizer, like the main organizer of the event. And like wait, is he even going to respond? But at the time, like, so my mentor had always like told me, Mr. Peter Lunko, he'd always told me, say, like, I mean, what's the worst that can happen? So you send me no, they say no. So, I mean, that's fine. Like, you're going to move on with your life. Your life is not going to end because they say no. And so going off of that, was what kept me pushing, like, okay, so I sent an email, and then also at the time was so it was just starting, so had to have a team together, and then also had to raise funds and the like,
Wow.
and I went off that, and I sent a bunch of like emails, random emails, knowing say okay yes they're going to say no it's fine I'm just going to move on to the next person, and I remember we were like the like biggest challenge that we had at the time was like funding because we needed to purchase robot kits, and then also for the challenge the team also needed to be able to. The challenge was going to be held in the first one was in Washington DC, so the team
Yes.
would have to fly from Zambia to Washington, and I was like okay I don't know where we're going to get this from. I'm just a college student, but I remember talking to my college professor, one of my college professors at the time, and I was telling her about this. Like, I'm super excited about this.
Yes.
And I also thought about like our financial like situation, how we needed funding, and so like yeah. So at the time, it's like honestly, like whether we don't participate or not, I still want this to have like I still want to have a robotics team. I still want kids to learn robotics, and I so a week later she just back to me and she's like, yeah, like the our like the so I was, I was school engineering, so I was at Harvard for colleges. Like the Harvard School of Engineering is going to fund your project. It's like one of
Correct.
my professors at Lendfaith also like contributed, and then the School of Engineering matched his contribution.
So,
Uh,
Sela, I have a question. So, by that time, when you're trying to organize for the projects in Zambia, you at Harvard at that time.
yes,
Wow. Yes.
so yes, so yeah, so it was important to have like someone to work with on the ground in Zambia, and so that's
Correct.
what ZIC was absolutely phenomenal. The big one was that they believed in me. Yes, it sounded like crazy, but they believed in me, and so that's like
Yes.
that was like an important thing. Is having people around you who believe in you. My mentors
Yes.
pushed
Yes.
me like, Stella, we can actually do this. And yeah, and then having like a bunch of like night calls with like members of the team and talking about it, and
Yes.
like, so yeah, so that was
Wow.
interesting time.
Wow, that was interesting. So, guys, she's just sharing with us how she managed that robotic team, how she started. And sometimes we have a lot of fears, unknown, will this happen? But she's saying she was so passionate about that, and people around believed in her, and that's what we need. To be passionate and just that drive. Because I was asking her, I'm like, how did you think? How is it gonna go? You know, those fears. We all have those fears, and we just wanted to make sure we can talk about them. Wow, that was really impressive. And then finally, it came to fruition, and all the you. So you had to be traveling back to Zambia and back to United States that way, right? And that's commitment.
Mm. So yeah, so I actually didn't have to travel that much
Yes,
because the team, like the ZIC team, was handling most of like the groundwork, and
yes.
so yeah, so even like with traveling for the like challenge itself, so they'll travel with the team and the like. So that was yeah, so that was like the big like helpful part on um on the at least on the traveling side. So yeah.
Wow. No, that's really good. So, what was one of your favorite projects that you did that you really really liked, or how many projects did you did? But what was your favorite one in Zambia with Wallace? You at Harvard with Zambia. Which one was your favorite project?
Uh, I'll probably say the robotics is. That for me, like represented my passion, and
Yes.
it's something that I just enjoyed knowing. I believe in STEM. I believe in people learning STEM, and for me, it gave me so much fulfillment knowing I can have an impact in helping people learn about STEM. So yeah, those,
Wow. That's really, really interesting. Thank you so much for that. So I'm going to take you back. One of my questions, I'll take you back. Last time when you were on the show, you mentioned about you were so intrigued about the career in computer software engineer, uh, realizing that it's something you can tinker with. But let me just read something. There is a 22-year-old Zoe Kayunda, founder, Girl Coder Zambia, a non-profit organization. She was intrigued. This is what she said. Observing how simple lines of code created beautiful products. The ability to turn an idea into a product gave me a certain amount of esteem. This helped me break out my shell of feeling less of a contributor to innovation as a woman, because evidently men have been leaders in building technology and women have been more of consumers. So I just wanted to compare that statement to the statement that you made. So what did you really mean when you said, I realize computer is something you can tinker with? Could you elaborate more what you meant when you said that?
okay. So so I took my first like programming class like online, and prior to that, I mean, we do have like some computer classes in school, but you learn the basics of like, okay, how to turn on, shut down the computer, use Word, Excel, and then like PowerPoint. And
Yes.
so for the longest time, it's this thing that does so many amazing things. it seemed like such like an alien of some sort. It's like I know it's capable of so many things. I'm like, wow, it is such a complex thing I could never understand. And so I
Yes.
took my first programming class, and I think like if you take programming, you're probably going to come across this phrase so many times. Like the first thing that you're taught to make a computer do is say "hello world," right? And
Yes.
so yeah, so I took so that was like the first program that we had to make, and so I created the first Hello World program. I was I was so excited, and then as I took the programming class like more was realizing say wait like you go from um, you can write a program to run like so many different like to perform so many different tasks. You can create like even use like markup language to create so many like HTML pages, and then suddenly this thing that had been like a black box to me uh, became like something that was accessible, right? And it's like, wait, I like that's something that I can use this, I can manipulate this, I can control this, I can write programs to like make this do what I would want it to do. And so like that in itself created like wide range, like opened itself like a wide range of opportunities. And so that so when I so yeah so when I said like now I could like finally like tinker with the computer, so that was like my main reference, which is like I can now program things, I can now create applications, and now the computer is actually my tool rather than this like far off object that is like complex and shielded from me.
Wow, that is very powerful. And it really resonated with my mind. And I was thinking about, wow, these programmers, guys, these are programmers. The Zoe Kuyanda, the one I just read that line, she's in computers, and also Sela Kasepa is in computer. And when they are talking, you could see how they're trying to express this feeling of satisfaction as a woman, of course, how they can control this unit, or something that's in just in the air, or something that you think of, and you can use this to produce something. How amazing is that? That really touched me when both of them are trying to express programming as something beautiful as a woman, and also to be able to participate not only on a consumer side of it, but to a point where you can now execute and also program something. I think as women, that's amazing. You know, the way Sela, you expressed yourself, something to tinker with. I'll never forget that. It has really stuck on my mind. I was like, wow, how did she think like that? She's like, this is something I can tinker with. I can control it. I can do anything to it. So I thought that was really interesting to make kids, also relate to that, because there are kids watching on this channel. There are mothers watching on this channel. So I just wanted to appeal to kids and mothers that programming, it's not as hard and complex as they think of it. I think Sela will be able to tell us that in details. There's a question I think that comes later on for her, because most people think programming computer, oh my god, I can't do anything, I can't not understand anything. But we have to think of it as some, as a tool. Maybe that may be still too loaded, but as as a weapon. I don't know, something that you can use to control, to execute something, to make your idea come to fruition. So that's how programmers do. They think, they're like, how can we make life better for people, for the end user, for kids, for people in this society? And that's how they think, and that's how we should be able to be encouraging kids to think in that way, so they can also become programmers. Thank you so much for that, Tinker Wade. I will never forget it. It will always stay on my mind. Okay, so I'll go to the next question, Sela. So the next question is, what has been an unexpected challenge along the way as you have been, going on with this career, software engineer?
So an unexpected challenge. Uh, So there's been a couple of challenges, but I think the one that shocked me and um, okay, so I'll probably like mention like two. One is so recently we had the we have been dealing with like with the COVID pandemic, and so for me actually, this week was my first time in the office since I started working.
Yes,
So everything has been remote, and so I've been working from like my apartment, not meeting people like face to face. And so
yes,
that was so that was the like a challenging part. So I moved to a new place during the pandemic, haven't met more people. And
yes,
I remember just like a few weeks before, I was actually talking to my manager how I actually just like want to move out because of this like feeling of like isolation because I
yes,
don't see people, I don't meet people, I'm working from home. So that was like an interesting like space to navigate. Um, that like you have to have this balancing act of like work from home, like you like just completely adjust to communicating with your teammates online. And so yeah, so that was not really how I thought I was going to start working, but
yes.
that was something that I needed to adapt to and make use of. And so yeah, so now we're back in office. So now probably that so like the things now look hopeful.
Yes.
Um, and so yeah, so I'll say that was like one of like the biggest challenges. And yeah, yeah,
Wow.
that's like
You know, when you say that, it's true. It happened to me because the when I just started working where I am for space missions, I just started when we were already in the pandemic. We're just in the pandemic, and I go there. My boss was actually already in Michigan, and I'm here in Los Angeles. So he's giving instructions. Now you can imagine how you have to dive into your job, and then you seeing these people around you. They're in masks. Okay, they're all in masks, and then I'm like, okay, let me take a breath. So I take a breath, and then I start working, and I'm communicating to these people. But what was more challenging is I meet these people in the hallway, and imagine I just sent an email, right? I was like, hi, thank you so much, and I'm so excited writing that person. And then I actually meet that person in the hallway, and I don't react the same way as in the email. You know why? Because I don't know her. I don't know this person. And that was so challenging. And then when I go sit and then I hear, oh, you just, when I'm asking about, that person was, oh, the person you just met in, I felt so bad. I said, I hope they see me as, like I'm not what they think they saw, because I just don't know them, because they're in masks. And it was very challenging for me because I could not emotionally connect with them right away physically, because I'm talking to the in the email. I would talk, okay, thank you so much, I would love to meet you, and then I meet that person on the way, and then she's saying hello, I just say, oh, hi, how are you, because there's nothing else to say. And that was really, really challenging. And the pandemic really, really brought a lot of challenges for us. Wow. Okay, let's go to the next question. So the next question is, what are your tech superpowers?
yeah, I was thinking about that. And so I would um, possibly say my tech superpowers might be um, my ability to learn, honestly.
Yes.
So, so the thing is, I would say this about like transitioning from college to studying work, which is like you do go to college, you learn computer science, you learn like all these like basic like computer science fundamentals, like how to program, how to like um do like a couple like computer science things, and then so you can start work, and it's not the like it's definitely not like the same like college experience, right? Like you don't have like an assigned like assignment specifications written down for you,
Yes.
like. like this is what, and this is the end goal. Usually it's like, we have this and this is the end goal. How you get to that is not really clear. And so you find yourself like start like transitioning to a new like phase has been like a whole like learning thing. And then even like within your team, like you're going to take on like different projects, right? And so each time you just find yourself like, oh, I now have to learn about like how this thing that I'm going to start now working on
Yes.
actually works. And so like, so I feel like that honestly like has been my superpower, is just like really the ability to learn, like grasp information and like put that to work. Uh, because like one thing that I've noticed is you leave college, but learning never really ends, because there's going to be something new. There's going to be a new programming language that you're going to have to like start using or learn how to use. There's going to be a new tool, and as you probably like there's especially like in the like at least like the software engineering world is always something new, right? Like even with like even like with if you're programming like the Python you're using like say 1 2 years back is not the same. Like there's always like a new like update, right? And with the new update comes like new features that you can use, new tools that you can use. And so you can never really stop learning. Like if you stop learning, then you fall behind like what technologies that are coming out there that you can leverage, right? And so it's always like that like constant like learning thing, which is like, oh, like I just have to keep myself abreast, like, okay, what's new, what's coming out, like, okay, what's in this new update, what like how can I do this better based on like the new technologies that are available. And so it's really like an exciting, interesting space that I feel like that's what I would classify as my like take superpower. It's just learning. Learning.
You actually nailed it. That's really perfect because that's what engineers do. They are given problems, right?
Yeah.
And then they have to figure it out how to solve those problems and using tools, what we've learned, as well as something that we've not learned, something that you create.
Mhm.
And tools don't come like, oh, I made two. You need to go and collect them, right?
Mhm.
Somehow. You need to find them and then you use them to achieve whatever you want to do. Wow, that's really really excellent, and it also resonates to what we talk about as uh, when kids are trying to find themselves, especially when they're like 5 years, 6 years. You see them asking questions, trying to look for things to fix something. I think that also starts when they are young, so that never ends, and that's what you're saying. Learning never ends; it continues
Yeah.
even in your tasks. When you're working, you're given tasks, you're still learning. There are things that you're going to do that you've never seen, that you've never done before, and then they make your life easier or your work easier. Wow, thank you so much, Sela, for that one. The next one is, what do you want women and girls to know about being in tech?
Okay. So like I mean, first and foremost is it is an open field and never like shy away from joining it. It's an open and very interesting field. It is true that the like compared to men, there's definitely like less women in tech, right? But then
Yes.
that doesn't mean it's a field that was like that it should be like is like hard for us, or is not really accessible to us. So it definitely is, right? And like tech subjects that lead into, or tech courses or programs that lead into like the tech field, um uh like they are open and they're available and they're accessible. And then but then I will say like um of course it would be not like very acknowledging of me to say it's just like easy and open, because it's a field that has predominantly been dominated by males, and of course there'll be some challenges that one will face, um, because of that, right? But then, like I will definitely say, like over like growing. So I remember like someone made a comment about this at work, which is like previously when we'd have like conferences, you'd find the male like bathroom line is like super long, and then the female bathroom line is like there's nobody there, right? And
Yes.
which is like like it's a good like representative like the imbalance that exists. But then because of that, like many there's like many like efforts again to open it up and like correct, I can say, this imbalance, right?
Yes.
And so that's something that I was, which is like yes, there are challenges, but then there's also like active effort to correct this, and and it's definitely like an exciting place. Like never, my I I would always like I when I so was starting up, like during like primary school years, I had this like tendency of like when someone says a subject is hard, me I'm like okay,
Yes.
this is hard. Like me, I am done with this. Like math is hard, and I had my mom always constantly telling me say she said this in Bemba like each step to Bemba takes like if something doesn't breathe,
Yes.
it should not defeat you, right?
Mhm.
So, like when this is the challenge because there's like it's a problem. Like does not so it's not like a human being. It's not like going to say, oh, because she now wants to solve it this way. I'm going to like this way. Like it really doesn't think. It just stays stagnant, right?
That's
But
so good.
yeah, but then you have the like power to adapt and decide what you're going to do. If this thing doesn't work, I'm going to try this other thing, right?
Yes.
And so my mom's words like have constantly like stayed with me, which is like this problem is going to stay like this. Like it really
Mhm.
won't change at all. It's me to like adapt and like find ways to like overcome this problem. And so that's something that I kept and would like encourage, like would give it as like advice to people, which is um, like there'll be some challenges, but
Yes.
like believe in yourself, like you have the capacity and ability to overcome it. And so, yeah, and so yes, yes.
Excellent. Excellent. You just hit the note, and especially what your mom said that this problem, it won't, it won't, it doesn't talk. It will remain the same. You can figure it. It's not like it's changing.
Yes.
Now, let me tell you what my mom said about a similar thing. It's so interesting. Okay, you will laugh. My mom always said, "Pamenso ya muntu tapafumankala maikulia." It's a similar proverb saying, don't be scared. Most sometimes, okay, now I'll relate it like to a human being. Sometimes we're so scared about someone approaching them. Maybe they have the solution, but you're so scared. You just looking at their face, they're like, so my mom said, no, pamenso ya muntu tapafumankala mwaikulya. I'm telling you, that has saved me a lot in my career, in my daily life, because sometimes even if people react that way, it's not what's really inside. Sometimes it's something else they're thinking about. So when you say that, it kind of related to what my mom used to say, now in a problem where like, you don't have to be intimidated. It's like a virus. It doesn't mean, oh, now they know me, okay, like, oh, they are looking at me. Of course it changes its adaptation due to environment, but it's the same concept. As long as nothing has tinkered with it, it will still remain the same, right? So we have to be, innovative and try to say it will remain like this, so I can kill it as long as it's like this, something like that. So those are really brilliant saying. Wow, that's really great. So Sela, do you think it's too late for some women to venture into STEM? Because
Uh,
okay, there are two ways. STEM kids, yeah, some kids can start as young as they are, but is it possible that people can come still do STEM when they are old? And is that, let me see your take about that.
yeah. Um, so I definitely think so. Like I have both like um read and like I also talk to people who have like made the transition, right? Like the career transition, which is I started out as like I maybe did like I majored in something in college that was absolutely not like a STEM related field, but I decided I like either took like some courses, joined like a program, and made that switch to like STEM, like a STEM related field, like later on in my career, right?
Correct.
And there's also this growing trend, like which is like it's not also like I need like a college degree in this field for me to like enter in it. Because there's also this growing trend where it's like now, like at least I'll speak for like software engineering. We don't like companies are hiring like okay, you have maybe like you maybe you said it on like high school experience and you have like some experience in like a tech related field and they can go off of that and so like we're still going to have people like people have experience they can actually like do the work and can show they can do it um we're still going to have them and so that just speaks to it's like you could have like started out with a whole different background and
Yes.
like it's never like late if that's like if your interests lie there, right? Like I still feel like based on like my experiences and conversations, like it's never late to like make the switch, which is true. Like it can be intimidating. I would like even for me when I was coming in college, like
Yeah.
they're like kids are like, oh, I've been like programming for the longest time, and I also so I was like mechanical engineering made the switch, which is still like STEM related. So I switched from like one
Yes.
to the other. I was mechanical
Mhm.
engineering. Then in my last year, like in my like third year of college, I switched to computer science, right? And so I, like for me that has like I like always look back on that and like okay if I ever even wanted to switch out of computer science that you maybe even like in that STEM related field, but okay that's a whole different like area which is it's still like possible which is like it's never too late to make that decision and say I can branch off and like pursue this interest that I have and so yeah so like yeah I definitely would I would encourage it uh,
Wow. So you nailed that one, and I am a living testimony. I wanted to tell you. So I pursued engineering in my early 40s. Yeah. So people now know I'm about 40. So I pursued my engineering. Yes, in that age. So I want to encourage anyone who thinks they can change. And I also have interviewed a lot of engineers here on this channel that have switched from. I have one of them. She works. She's an electrical engineer at Boeing. She switched from psychology, guys, to engineering, and she did engineering as a master's in engineering. You can imagine from, and she did well. So anything can possible. Thank you so much, Sela, for that, for encouraging. Yeah, I'm a living testimony. So you guys, we can do this. So now the last one is women have to work harder to demonstrate their worth in engineering, in STEM, and you are more likely to be perceived as incompetent in comparison to your male counterparts. What's your take on that?
yeah so um that's like so that's like a very interesting tech I would um I could probably say like yes I think for me it was more apparent more in college than it is like at work like you had which is so I will say this it's kind of like a complex like situation by case like I'm female and then I'm also black so like many minority like tags there but
Yes.
so like so in college I had to like come up like so actually a couple of us had to come up with this like situation where um before you take a class, you're like wondering, like, okay, who am I taking this class with?
Yes.
Because like a couple, like if, especially if like with a bunch of engineering courses require like teams, right? Like you
Yes.
form teams and partner with people and to like work on something, and you'd always be wondering, like, wait, who's going to be on my team, right?
Tell me about it.
Yeah, so teammates weren't readily available. And for me, like that's when we became apparent, right? Like it's like, this is not the same situation. And so like before, like you would actively shy away from taking classes because you know I was not going to find teammates in a class, right? And so like before you
Yes.
take a class, you're like, like pinging your friends, like guys, so
Mhm.
taking this class, like I
Let's
need to,
do this.
yeah. and so yeah, so that's definitely going to be like a bit, and it's not that people have seen like, oh, I know this person doesn't work. It's like there's a lot of like preconceived notions that like people already like have and formulate, and
Yes.
so it's like you definitely like find like in situations like I will have to like stand out, like first of all like I have to stand up for like what I want,
Hmm.
and also like prove that I can actually like do this. Because I mean honestly, like and honestly, like no one will ever say it like outwardly say, I don't think you can do that, but their like actions will show it.
Yes.
And so like on that statement, from my experience, I don't deny it, and that's like the unfortunate truth. Um, and so it's also like another challenge that you kind of like have to like take on to pursue
Yeah.
your interest.
Among all the other challenges, you know what? I did experience the same thing, especially when it came to choosing groups. The guys, they have that language. Oh yeah, yeah, I'm gonna be there. You're okay, yeah. They have already done that, right? I'm standing there and I'm trying to figure out, and then I realize people are teaming up and I'm almost like late. That was the worst feeling I used to experience. And then when I got to the group, I had to prove by either speaking that I will bring this to the team. And I think that actually strengthened me so much. Um, so it is a challenge even now, and I don't blame the guys because this is a preconceived notion that I don't know. That's the notion we're trying to change right here, right? We're on this platform trying to change. And then once they realize that you are just their peers, I've found that they have been very, very even more supportive, more, just very helpful. And even like, I'll give an example where I'm working, perfect. They don't consider like you can't do anything. They really realize that, we are the same. We can do the same things. There is nothing different that we can't do. Yeah, wow. That was really, really interesting. So, guys, I put a link there, guys. Please come up here if you want to say hi or say anything. Whilst we are still talking, I see Alfeo, but your camera is off. Make sure you fix your camera because you won't be able to speak. So anyone, please come in if you want to say hi and see us in 3D. If you come up here, you can see us in 3D. It's exciting. Um, so the other thing, Sela, would say, so what would you say to a girl growing up? Of course, me and you are privileged. We're here in the United States. Let's look at a girl in Shangombo, since we all come from one place. Let's look at a girl in Shangombo or Kazungula. How do you think this girl can be somewhere and become a participant in STEM? So Alfeo and Muyembe, just make sure you fix your cameras. Your cameras are not showing, so fix that, and then we'll continue. So yeah, what would you say to a girl? Because my heart bleeds, and I want to hear how other engineers think.
Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting question. Um, so uh, like eh, there's two sides to that, which is okay. Let me say two sides. Um, I would probably say one is like try. It's like um it's true, like definitely like not everyone is like in the same like space, but I would say try your best to like reach out and find the resources. Sometimes yes, opportunities and resources will come knocking on your door, and oftentimes they won't, right? And like certain circumstances that surround us do make it hard for like um, us, like depending on your circumstance, to access certain opportunities, right?
Yes.
But like try, like there are like two things that I would tell myself um, when I feel like I was like and like disadvantaged in some case, or like didn't know where exactly I was going to be headed, which was number one, like there's this thing that I've said. I don't know who said it, but it's a quote that I seem to abuse, which is like if you like do something and you try your best at it, and the universe conspires to make it happen. Like if you believe in something and try hard for it, um, the universe finds like different ways to like make what you're trying to work for happen. And then there's this other quote that I found that like carried me a lot to like high school when we're like my family was facing like some financial challenges. So it's from a poem that I read in Nelson Mandela's book. So
Yes.
so a part of it says, "It doesn't matter how straight they get, how charged with punishment the straw. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul." Right. And so for me, that like I told myself that as I was saying, so like there are like definitely like so many things beyond me that I do not control, but I still have like there's still like I still have like some control over like what happens to me and how like what like where I end up, right? And so like my advice would be like it would definitely be hard, but it like like uh go like try like if you start going over and beyond, right? Like if it means like I I I I'm trying to give like some examples, but basically like to conclude on that statement,
Growing up.
if it like means like going like trying something extra, just like go like a bit like a step further, and the more you do that, the like consistency you develop in doing that, an opportunity won't come on the first day. It won't come on the second day, nor maybe the 100th day, right? But I always feel like if you put yourself out there and in any way possible, um, like resources will open up, and like you get exposed to like more resources that can be open to you, right? And so that's what I would say, which is one, don't let like your circumstances like bog you down and like disable you from trying to do anything. Um, but then use that instead as like a stumbling instead of a stumbling block, but as a stepping stone to push you to like seek like resources. And so yes, I think
Wow.
that'll be it.
Sela, it touched me when you started elaborating how, a kid from a remote place can get to a destination where they are. It's interesting because when I was in Zambia, I didn't have that opportunity and privilege to venture into STEM and also just be where I am today. I didn't, but I didn't give up. Okay. So when you say that, it really resonates with me. I didn't give up, even if I saw that I don't have those resources around me. I did not give up. I still imagined that world. And my passion was really in manufacturing technology. So I still imagine that passion such that due to my imagination and pushing, I ended up, here in United States. And when you come still here, it's not that the automatic that, oh, just because I didn't come here particularly to come to school, but I was exposed, and because of that tenacity, of just having your passion at the back of your head, I think it's amazing. It's a fire that propels you to the next level, and because of that, that's why I was constantly looking around me to look out for opportunities. A lot of people came here in the United States, but they did different stuff. And I'm not saying what they did is wrong, but I'm talking about your passion and just what you want to do, especially when you talk about that. It's really true that a kid in Shangombo a kid in Kazungula who thinks can do something have to keep that passion, boy, girl, because why? You never know where you're going to press and the popcorn starts popping. And I mean popcorns of opportunities, popcorns of meeting someone. So you have to keep that fire burning regardless where you are. I think that's a very good example of how we can keep our passion going. So I'm going to bring Muyembe. He wants to say something. Let's see. Hi, Muyembe. How are you?
Hello, madam. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Hello,
He's very a follower of Sela. So here's Sela. Say hi to her, and feel free.
Asela. How are you?
I am doing okay. How are you?
Fine, fine. Like it's been a while. Like I've been following you. Yeah, like it's been long. Yeah. So finally, I'm here because of Engineer Warrior. I'm here now. I can speak to you. I just feel nice. Right? Just feel nice. Like I
And
don't
Miriam,
know.
what are you studying? What are you doing as at now? How are you
Uh,
passionate about STEM? Brief us a little bit.
Actually, I'm studying environmental engineering and water resource management at CBU. Actually, I'm a this year now. Yeah, yesterday, August, I'll be done. And right now, I saw this. I connected with Engineer Wire. Like that was on LinkedIn. Then
Yes.
I've been so much passionate about STEM, promoting women and promoting young ladies to know the importance of school as well as the importance of their protection, how school can protect themselves,
Mm,
how school can protect them, and how vibrant they can be when they join the science field.
mhm,
And I've been promoting that where I'm coming from. I'm from Undola, and I whenever I see a lady or anyone from my community who does on the 12, I make sure that I educate them on the sponsorship of government, what government is able to offer. If there's anything that I can offer, I take them to a social welfare. I show them how to write the letters, and about five of them now. One is at Yunza, two are here, and the other one is at Mulungushi. I managed to make sure that they are all in school. So two of them are doing pharmacy, and one is doing electrical engineering here at CBU. And I'm so proud that my community is doing fine, and I'm sure 5 to 10 years from now, I'm sure my community will have power. Yeah, that's what I've been working on. Yeah, thank you.
wow, thank you so much for that. And I always say that here on Earth, we have to leave a print for the upcoming young people, upcoming people, just young people who want to pursue science and technology. We want them to know that we've been rallying for them because we are, for me and for example, Sela, who are already working, we know what it is to be on the other side. And we are rallying for young people. We are rallying for all those that are interested to be in STEM. And thank you so much. Which one is your first name, Mwenya or me?
Actually, the first one is Muyembe, and you are the first one. You're not the first one to fail to pronounce it, but yeah, it's actually those are Muyembe Mwenya.
Muyembe Mwenya. Oh, okay. No,
Mwenya is the surname.
wow. We wish
But
you all the best. Continue.
actually, okay, but if you're okay, you can be using Mwenya because it's easy to pronounce.
No, we have to follow instructions. So,
Okay.
right, Sela?
Actually, it's an honor speaking to you, Sarah, and it's an honor speaking to one of the most intelligent women I've ever seen. And
Yes,
I was
yes.
glad you seeing you meeting the queen. I was just like, when is this program going to end? And it was unfortunate I found the program is over. And yeah, 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 it was just like, well, I don't have words. I don't have words. It's just so nice. Like,
Yeah, yeah. And
good luck in whatever.
oh yeah, no, I
Can
was
you
saying
come
I'm
again?
pleased to meet you. Sorry.
I can't get you.
Oh no, I was saying I'm pleased to meet you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you,
yeah,
thank you.
yeah. No.
Sure.
And it's great work you're doing. Like there.
Uh, thank you. Sure.
Thank you so
Mm.
much. Thank you, Muyembe. I have to make sure I follow instructions. Your name is Muyembe, first name. I have to do that. Thank you so much. We really appreciate, guys. So, guys, you saw Muyembe came up here to say hi. Thank you so much, Muyembe. We hope to talk to you soon and come and engage us. Anyone can engage us, guys. Thank you, Muyembe. Anyone can engage us. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. We really do appreciate. And Sela, wow, that was amazing. We really enjoyed having you here, and we do enjoy having you here. And you are amazing. You've showed us how projects can be done. I think you are one of a kind who have actually done those projects where you communicate with people in Zambia and they go out and try those projects, and whatever the result was, that was really amazing. And any other projects, because it showed how smart Zambians can be. You don't know what that did to the whole world, and to show that they are smart people out there. They are intelligent to be able to program. You brought that inner part of them out. So we really, really do appreciate for that. And just to see you that even you were in that program, here you are working for Microsoft, and it's amazing, and we really thank you for that. So, guys, I see nobody is coming up to say hi to us. So, now we have another guest, guys, that I'm going to bring up. Thank you so much, Sela. Hope to see you soon again. I know you are so busy, but would love to have you again here on this channel more often. And I think there's the last word. She has represented us in very well. Keep it up, Sela. That's really amazing. We really do appreciate Sarah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, this is nice. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yes, please, please, please. Thank you. Guys, I'm so excited today. I have a very special visitor. Her name is Ekwueme Mary, and we are so glad to have her. And remember, guys, we always bring you different types of engineers right here. Remember, we are here to encourage girls to pursue science and technology. We are here to showcase other models that are pursuing science and technology. And we're also here to talk about science, talk about technology, so that, just the girls can have a real good feel of science and technology. So today we have Ekwueme Mary. Oh my God, guys, I've been trying to get her to speak to her, and I know she's busy. She goes, she's going to tell us more what she's doing, but I'm just so glad today that she's here. So, Ekwueme Mary, let's go dive into it. So, tell me about yourself. What's your name? What do you do? Give us a background of what are you doing? Yes. And
Thank you for having me.
where are you right now, guys? Where is she pouncing from? Let's find out. Yes.
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
Like she said already, I'm Ekwueme Mary from Nigeria. Currently, I'm in my National Youth Service. Actually, a National Youth Service is a 1-year mandatory program for Nigerian graduates.
Yes.
So during this program, these graduates are being posted to different sectors, example like schools, banks, and other industries to gain work experience. And in the end of 1 year, they are given a certificate which will enable them get a paying job. So that's what I do currently. So I was opportune to be posted to a school where I take one of the STEM subjects, which is biology to be precise. Actually, I'm a biologist. I read biology in higher school.
Wow, wow, that's so interesting. Thank you so much for having you. So what are you studying exactly?
I actually read a biology education in my
Yes.
university.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so
And
I
what
have a
go ahead.
Okay, so it's a bachelor degree in biology.
Wow, that's interesting. So,
Yes.
what do you want to major exactly? Do you want to be, um, so can you tell us exactly when you become a biologist, what do you really do when you start working exactly? Yeah.
Okay, the aspect of biology I read, it's actually educational biology. So
Yes.
majorly we're expected to be teachers.
Okay.
We're supposed to be in schools teaching, or you end up as a lecturer, or you can actually major in other aspects like environmental biology, microbiology, which enables you to work in the laboratory or a clinical section.
Wow, that's interesting,
Yes,
guys. See, you can be a teacher, you can be working on investigating in the lab,
yes,
trying to understand like research. Wow, that's so
yes.
interesting. Thank you so much. And I see you're so passionate about STEM. So, can you give us a little bit background of how you got into STEM? How did you get into STEM? How did you start liking this subject of STEM? Could you give us a detailed information, and also how you started now advocating for STEM kids? How did that start?
Okay, thank you very much. I started loving STEM when I was a child
Yes,
because I had two older brothers who happen to be medical doctors, and
yes,
one is currently a surgeon.
yes.
So while growing up, I usually go to them for mathematics assignment, and they were able to dissolve the assignments for me without stress. So at some point, I'm like,
Yes,
I just want to be like them, and
yes.
I admire what they do. So getting to higher school, I picked interest in biology. So that was how my interest started. So I read biology because I wanted to find out more about life on Earth, understand how human beings interact with their environments and other organisms within the environment. That was actually my major interest.
Wow, that's so interesting. And so you have
Thank you.
brothers who are already in STEM, right? And
Yes,
remember, we always talk about how can parents, how can aunties, how can uncles encourage girls to pursue science and technology. So we always say that when they are surrounded by people, they are surrounded by doctors, engineers, and not only surrounded, even if they see them on a distance, for example, on the TV, or they read about them. So they can
yes.
become interested. Wow, that's interesting. So I know you've answered this question again. I always like asking my viewers. So I'll take
Okay.
you back when you were 5 years old, Mary. Imagine when you're 5, 6, 7. What's happening in your life? What's going on there? Where are you? Because we would like to understand how young people start becoming interested in STEM. So I know you mentioned about your brothers being in there. So what's happening? Is your mother talking about science, or you're just seeing that from your brothers when you were young? What was going on?
When I was young, when I was 5 years old, I think that was when I actually started knowing myself as a human. So
Yes,
I would what I can remember precisely was me loving to count numbers with counters.
yes.
Yeah, so I usually go around, pick counters, and then try to count larger numbers with them. So, but what actually motivated me to go towards that direction was because my dad happens to be a teacher. So he would actually want you to just get busy with your book, find your hands around something, and you just don't have to be idle. So it was a major motivation, but I knew that I was always playing with counters, trying to make numbers with them. And there's this thing I could always remember. My mom will always say that I tend to fix chairs and start teaching them. I know it's funny. So that was
It's a really,
it.
you know what? Please tell us. That's a really, really good example of how people start getting interested. Yeah, go ahead.
So I will always gather chairs and get a cane. And funny enough, I gave the chairs names and I was treating them like students. So that was where my teaching career started, unknown to me.
Wow. Wow. And that's when you were young, and your dad was already a teacher by that time.
Yes, ma.
Wow, that's interesting. Okay, so now you're growing up, and then now the interest starts getting, more and more when your brothers are now doctors, and they are. You said there's
Yes, I
a
have two.
surgeon.
Yes, two medical doctors. One is a surgeon currently.
Wow, that's really amazing, amazing. I
Thank
think your
you.
dad really did a good job, and just that surrounding of being with your brothers, being with someone who is doing something really helps us understand where we can go. And I was reading
Yes.
something on LinkedIn. Someone was expressing how just the environment around you would really, really encourage you
Yeah.
to even aim high or to equate yourselves to those around you. And that's why we encourage that, we either listening to YouTube like this platform, or searching for things online that
Nine.
are
Yes.
related to science, or maybe you ask a friend who's an engineer or a doctor, you introduce your child so they can interview them,
They
right?
can learn.
Yeah,
Yes.
so they can learn. And that's how we are trying to establish, how do people like you, Mary Ekwueme, Mary, start liking interest, and how did you get to where you are? So now we are seeing some pattern in your life around you that's encouraging you, especially your brothers, setting a way for you. That's really interesting, and thank you so much for sharing that. So can we also
Thank
dive
you.
a little bit on so what do you do when you go to teach to your kids? What is the most interesting thing that you find? Can you share with my viewers so they can
Okay.
learn and know exactly how it feels to be that?
Wow, it's actually a beautiful experience to get to interact with little minds. So
Yes,
I,
yes,
I actually sometimes I see myself as a mind surgeon because you can actually play with the kids' mind. At that
yes,
point, I would say they are vulnerable. Permit me to use that word
yes,
because
correct.
you can play with their minds and you
Mm-hmm.
can encourage them to pursue a particular career, especially when they see you as a role model. So I try as much as I can to be a role model to them, tell them what they need to know, tell them what is on ground. Like currently, I would say tech is thriving among the STEM subjects.
Yes,
So I encourage them at that tender age, but let me say I take a higher class because
yes,
I'm taking biology, so I take a senior class. So I
right.
encourage them to find their hands around STEM, try to
Mm-hmm.
learn a new skill that has to do with technology outside the classroom work.
Yes,
So we encourage them to go for extra classes that has to do with STEM. You could learn data analysis like myself. I intend to move into tech
yes.
afterwards after my national youth service. So I
Mm-hmm.
intend going transiting into STEM, so tech instead. Sorry, so I
Yes.
could gain more experience in STEM. So I also advise my students to go for that, learn more during your vacations. Just find yourself doing something different.
Wow, wow. That's a mind of a person who's so passionate about STEM, and you are still going to school, and you still want to encourage someone. And you know what, Mary? I always talk about a blue rope, to throw a blue rope to someone coming behind
Yes,
us. And what
yes,
what do I say about the blue rope? I always say, like, if you see someone wants to is looking for a blue rope, and what is a blue rope? A blue rope is a way of climbing up. So
yes.
you have to help them, pull them using that
Pull them.
blue.
Yes,
Yes, and we also encourage those people that are looking for a blue rope to be talking, to be asking, have you seen the blue rope? Have you seen the blue rope? How does the blue rope? Oh, it looks like this, it's small, it's twisted. Why do you have to always say that? Because when you say it loud, somebody might have seen the blue rope, and the blue rope can be opportunities.
it
It can
is.
be something that you don't know that some people know. And that's why we
No.
need to be voicing out as women trying to encourage girls, and to also throw a rope on someone else so that they can also join us. Wow, that's so
Mm,
interesting. So what is the
thank
most
you.
subject that you like teaching the kids when you're teaching them? That's so interesting to you.
Oh, the most interesting subject still remains my biology.
So it still remains your biology.
Yes, because I actually want these students to understand their body,
Yes,
understand what happens inside their body, that's the internal organs, than
correct.
waiting for someone to tell them what's actually happening. So sometimes I could tell them that you are actually your own doctor. So if you
Yes,
can understand what's happening in your body, how your body reacts to substance, what you need to do, and then you're actually your own doctor.
yes,
So it's actually interesting to bring biology, which is a STEM subject, to these kids, motivate them to understand it, become a mentor for them to
yes.
understand it. So biology is actually the best subject for me to teach.
Wow, that's interesting. So I'll take
Thank
it
you.
a notch up. I work for like space missions, and I like reading about space and in space beyond, and how also technology is taking care of people in space. Due to
Okay.
technology, now they are able to understand how the astronauts are feeling back there in space. Can you
In
imagine?
space.
Yes, they can know if they are sick, if they
Sick,
don't
yes.
feel well, if they are weak. So, what do you think about that technology? Any comment that I want to hear from you, since you love biology? What do you think about treating people virtually from a distance, especially astronauts who are in space, who are,
Okay.
are there, and we are here on Earth?
On
Can
earth.
you make any comments about how you feel about that? Is it exciting, and why is it exciting to you? Maybe you can also go share with the kids to tell them that now technology, we want to start treating patients from
From
afar.
a distance.
Correct, yes.
Okay, so for me, it's actually an exciting experience. Like, I've read this book where there's no doctor,
Yes,
and coming to hear that patients can be treated from a distance. So
yes,
it's actually an interesting and exciting, um, well, okay, it's an exciting moment or exciting experience. Let's take it to be a good experience. So for me, before you could say you're sick, you should have understood your body,
correct.
how it works, and how you feel when you are down.
Yes.
So at that point, if you do not understand your body, for me, I'll
Mhm.
take myself as a perfect example.
Yes.
When I move to a new environment,
Mhm.
I do not take water, I do not just drink their water or
Correct.
eat their fish,
Yes.
because I might end up having diarrhea.
Correct.
So because I've been able to study my system to that point to understand that this is what happens when I do something in a neutral environment that is not familiar to me.
Yes.
So I'm able to take precautions when due. So for me, for people on space, it's
Yes.
actually very interesting to understand your body and give feedback to your doctor that this is what is happening to me.
Yes.
And when you ask me, I would actually say that this is actually the work of biotechnology.
I'm telling you. And the other
Yes.
thing they say that when whenever they're about to have, for example, like a heart attack, not really, even a heart attack, but if they're about to have asthma, the body
Okay.
produces certain type of chemical reaction in the body before even the asthma comes out. So
Okay. Yes. Yes.
you know that, right? So it
Yes.
produces a certain chemical in the body cells. I think it also comes out such
Through the
that,
nose tree.
yes,
Yes.
you can capture that scent or
Yes.
somewhere somehow. So that's what the technology has done. So in space, they can capture that chemical right away, and they can tell this person is about to start going into having an attack, and they can do
Yes.
something from virtually. So
Yes.
it's so exciting how science,
Nice.
biology is just amazing to help us understand ourselves and the environment. And I always talk
Yes.
about how why girls should be encouraged to pursue STEM, you know, they can understand their environment better, they can understand
Yes.
their body better, they can understand, just a lot of things around them. STEM opens a lot of skills that
Yes.
you can utilize, have a career, and also just to understand your environment at large. Wow. So, Mary, what can you say to a girl growing up? I would say maybe in the remote area so much. One thing I would say, of course, I would say in United States, and I'm privileged to have some of the resources around me. I do understand that, but I also have a
Okay.
heart for those that are out somewhere, those that don't have those resources. So, what would you say about a girl growing up in a very remote place? How can they learn and want to do STEM? Can you speak to that girl out there? How
Okay.
can they? Yes.
Thank you very much. To every girl out there in the remote area, this is what I'll say to you. STEM is actually a very good opportunity, and without resources, I would say it's not really a palatable experience. But when you find a mentor or a guide, for instance, I'll use myself as an example. I was posted here from the National Youth Service Board to take care of kids in school, and this is actually a remote area. And
Wow.
when I got in here, I actually found out that their libraries were bad and all of that,
Mhm.
but I had to lay my hands around it and fix a library for them.
Yes.
But when I got here, I discovered a lot of things were not in place because it's actually a remote area. And
Mhm.
sorry to say, most of them have not seen a sanitary pad before.
Wow. Yeah.
So when we got here, we just decided to fix it and tell them about it, and that was it. So the point is, when you find this person who has an idea
Mhm.
in your environment, hence we were being posted here, so you
Mhm.
can see that person as a mentor, draw closer to the person, and see how you can learn from this person.
Mhm.
So in essence, what I'm saying is this: get a mentor.
Mhm. Mhm.
Get a mentor, stick to him or her, try to learn. And whereas you can't get a mentor, at least we see these things on televisions, we hear
Yeah.
them on radio, but you just find a way to lay your hands on them, and it's actually going to be worth it in the end.
Wow. That's a very, very good encouragement. So, Mary, you really, really encourage the kids so in detail. I see you have this passion about STEM. What really, really drives you? What's behind that passion of driving this STEM? Could you share with my viewers?
Okay, my major drive, like I said, is I actually want to understand life on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding how we just got here. Well, how did we get here in the first place? That was my major drive. I want to
Yes,
know how we got here. How did we see these animals around us? And
yes.
they are all here, we're interacting and everything. So, my major drive is actually to understand human beings and
Mm-hmm.
how they interact with their environment, non living and non living inclusive, where we have the climate and temperature and everything. So, I just really want to understand what happens here on Earth, life on Earth. That has been my major drive.
Wow, wow, that's amazing. And Mary, you know
Thank
what? I'll
you.
tell you something. Most of the engineers here, scientists, student engineers, and just healthcare professionals, they talk about their curiosity that has driven them. And it's amazing that even you are talking about curiosity. You're already saying, I wanted to understand how are human beings made, my environment around me. And same thing, even me when I was back home, because I was born and raised in Zambia. When I was
Well,
back home, I was thinking when I see a plane flying, I was curious, will I
yeah.
ever get on that plane one day? Will I ever experience this? And also, just my environment. Who lives outside this country? Who
They,
are they?
yeah.
What kind of people? So that curiosity will take us very far. And thank
Yes.
you so much. You explained it very well. How
Thank you.
where your drive comes from. It's your curiosity that's driving you, wanting to learn more, wanting to know more. So that's really interesting. And thank you so much, because most of the engineers, we're trying to learn from you guys, scientists, engineers, healthcare professionals. We're trying to learn from you as mothers, as students. How do they think? How did their life start? How can we also be like them? And especially you are still going to school. You are also encouraging other students. This is really, really amazing. And would
Thank
like
you.
to see your space, watch your space and what you're doing. It's just amazing. We really, really
Thank
do
you.
appreciate. So, and then again, so what kind of kids do you deal with? Those that you encourage STEM, because you are a STEM advocate. What age group are you dealing with exactly?
Okay. Currently it's actually 14 to 18 years old.
Wow.
But I wish I could actually lay my hands on those within the age of
Yes,
5 to 13, because their minds are more fragile compared to those of 14 to 18.
correct. Yes.
Yeah, so
And
it's actually, sorry.
no, go ahead.
Okay, it's actually very interesting when a kid, as a kid, you have to start early.
Yes.
That way it sticks. So when you're starting early, you discover that this whole thing you're doing becomes more like a lifestyle than
Yes.
when you're trying to learn it at a certain age that you've already know what you want to do. But when you
Mhm.
start as a kid, it becomes a lifestyle and it becomes very easy to achieve.
You are right, spot on. The other thing is, remember, most kids, most girls, they are afraid to do science classes and mathematics.
Yes.
At the age, especially anytime after 15, somebody has already messed up with their mind and they've told them that math is hard. And guess what? That's why I've been trying to say math is not hard. Who said math
Math,
is hard? Because these kids, when they are fragile at that age, they have to be told that math is not hard.
not hard,
And
yes.
I remember I've always been saying, the way I encourage kids, I say, math is not hard. All we do is look for X.
Yes.
X will start changing later on as X.
Yes, we're
And then
always looking for X.
we are all looking for X. That's it. I told that to
Yes.
my son. He bought that and he started loving math. I told him we are only looking for X. After that, X starts changing. They start calling it differentiation. You know how the math starts
Yes,
getting harder
yes.
as the
Differentiation, algebra,
it's
linear
all
equations.
linear equation. We are looking for X. It's either X is in an angle or it's somewhere sitting. We pop it out. Those are derivatives. We pop it
Yes,
in, differentiation or derivatives, whatever that may be.
yes.
But all we are playing with is X to find out what is happening to X. There is nothing that we are doing. It's just looking for X.
X,
So that's
exactly.
how a young mind can be encouraged, until when they start growing, they realize math is just part of life. But somehow, when they start growing, they are intimidated and they feel like math is so hard, they can't do it. And once they lose that zeal, that's it. They
Yes,
think that they can't do it. But it all be, determination and also the state of mind. Think
yes.
like, it's not hard. And when you say that they need to be trained as soon as possible when they are young, I really, really agree with you. And that's why we are here on this platform. Oh my God, Mary, thank you so much. So, Mary, I would
Thank you,
like you
ma'am.
to say the last word, whatever you want to say on this interview. Please go ahead. I'll give you time to say a minute, or what you want to say, or what you want to encourage, your last words.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Okay, to the girl out there, to every girl out there, STEM is easy. STEM
Mhm.
is something you can achieve. Once you put your mind to it, you can achieve. What I want to say to you is put 1% effort every day and make it count.
Wow.
Good
Wow.
luck.
Yes, yes, and thank you so much. And remember, guys, STEM is a very good career. It's a very lucrative career. So make sure you can do it. It's not hard. Even us women, we can do it. You see
Yes.
us right here. We are a testimony of being in STEM and trying to stay in STEM and continue being in STEM. Wow, thank you so much, Mary. Again,
You're
guys,
welcome.
Mary is bouncing from Nigeria. And what exactly city are you in?
Port Harcourt.
Port Harcourt.
Yes, but
Yes.
currently I'm in Bayelsa State.
Wow. So,
Yes.
guys, say hi to Mary and make sure we will listen to her again and to see what she's doing and how she's supporting those girls in Nigeria. Thank you
Thank
so much,
you.
Mary. We really appreciate it. And we hope you can come back soon and talk to us.
Thank you, Ma. Do have a wonderful time.
You too. Guys, thank you so much, guys, for coming to this channel. I think we've come to the end of the this session, and I just want to say thank you so much for coming, guys. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification so that when we have very interesting guests, you'll be the first one to get that info. So, guys, we've come to the end of the session. It has been more than 1 hour something. That was quite long. Mostly we do about an hour to 45. Again, this is Girls for STEM. We here to encourage girls pursue science and technology. We showcase other role models, guys, so that we can have a feel of who is in STEM. What are they doing? How does it feel? If even just to ask questions. Remember, Sela was here, Mary's here, and they are showing us what actually they do and what's going on in their life so that we can show the kids, expose them to these scientists, engineers, and just to see how it is to be in STEM. And that STEM is not hard, especially we are trying to age mothers, parents, that start them when they are young. Who said math was hard? Who said programming was hard? Who said that? That's where the problem is. And we are here to speak out and say no, no to kids having a mind of saying these classes are hard. It's not fair to let kids understand that these classes are hard, that math is hard. But when they start when they are young, they have it as part of their life and they will be solving problems like nothing. But when they get that it's really hard, they get so stressed. I've been through that, guys, feeling that it's so hard, it's stressful, that I'm failing, and that's the end of me. I've been there. But when we let them understand this when they're still little, you know it's easy for them to get acclimatized into science, and it just becomes like it's part of them, and they don't feel that stress whenever they're having exams or when it's tough, they fail, they know, oh, I just made a mistake, I can get back on and keep going. So, guys, we've come to the end of the show. Thank you so much for coming, and please, guys, join us again next week. And I hate to leave, but guys, I just wanted to say I love you guys and thank you so much for supporting this cause. Let's share it. Let's share it to everyone so that mothers, people out there, they can come and listen and they can come and have idea and share with their kids. And there are so many other videos that shows how we can communicate STEM to our kids, how we can speak to them in the house, how we can speak to them outside the house. We go to have fun outside, how we can speak to them. You can check those videos out there. So I still see Miembe and Alfeo are still here. Alfeo, we can't see your camera, and Miembe, we still can't see your camera, but you're here. Guys, thank you so much. I hate to leave. I want to hang out with you guys. Come up here if you are available. I'll bring Miembe again one more time. How are you, Miembe? Thank you so much for coming. He's been a STEM support for a longest time, and we really do appreciate that you were here. You spoke to Sela, your fan. We really, really do appreciate. You are on mute. Oh yeah, now you're.
No, no, I'm on. Yeah. I really appreciate, and it's something that I've been looking forward to one day to speak to her and to understand like how how things work. I've been wanting to talk to her since 2019. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
The moment I just saw these innovative people,
Yes.
these innovative guys from Robotics Zambia, and I was much interested to know
Yes.
what they were figuring about. Then I had to understand to say they were taking Zambia somewhere very far. Okay, I'm a fan of science and I like science very much, and I really enjoy science. So it's something that I've always been looking forward to know, actually, like science and mathematics. It's something that I like since I was young. I've been wanting to study an engineering program, and finally I did. Yeah.
Wow,
And
that's really interesting.
my main interest is renewable energy.
Mm-hmm.
That's where my heart is. That's why I even ventured in this type of a program. Renewable energy is my focus. Yes, that's it.
Wow. And when did you get interested in science, Muyembe? When? How old were
I
you?
I I, ca- I can recall that was I think I was in grade somewhere 4, somewhere there.
Yes.
That's how I just like science and math.
Wow, wow, that's it. And it was amazing for me to always to speak to Sela. Very brilliant, and we can talk about her. She's not here, but she's gonna watch this later on. Very brilliant individual. From Africa. She's one of a kind, and she's a software engineer, and there she is. And you see where she came from in Zambia. It's amazing. So that's really really great to have her and to show the kids that anyone can make it, anyone can be where she is. And I'm glad you had an opportunity to interact with her. So thank you so much. Wow, guys, ciao ciao now. We've come to the end of this show, and don't don't miss next week. Always interesting stuff, guys. And bye, and love you guys.